Thought I was gonna have like 30 to 40 more years with her.
Lynette Hooker's daughter just got back from the Bahamas.
Like, the trip answered a lot of questions, but I just have more questions about other things now.
Carly Aylesworth was trying to retrace her mom's final moments before she disappeared the evening of April 4th. Do you believe any of Brian's story?
No, I think it's just a story he made up.
She was laughing 2 days before she disappeared. Sun on her face, ocean behind her, completely alive. That was Thursday. By Saturday night, she was gone. Lynette Hooker, 55 years old, Michigan, 25 years married, living her retirement dream on a sailboat in the Bahamas. Her husband Brian says she fell off the back of their dinghy, says the water was rough, says it was too dark to see her, says he tried everything. But here's what investigators found when they recovered that dinghy. 2 life jackets, sitting at the bottom of the boat, completely untouched. And here's what a camera captured at 7 p.m. that night. Brian Hooker, walking toward the dock, alone. No Lynette. So where was she? Stay with me, because every answer in this case creates a bigger question. If you're new here, this is Hidden Crime Files. We don't move on when the media does. Subscribe right now, because this case is still active and we are not done. The life they built. Brian and Lynette Hooker didn't retire to a house. They retired to the ocean. Their 46-foot catamaran, named Soulmate, became their full-time home. Under the name The Sailing Hookers, they documented everything on Instagram and TikTok. Sunsets, island hopping, dinghy rides, scuba diving. Their followers watched them live the life most people only dream about. By early 2026, they were deep in the Bahamas, anchored in the Abaco Islands, Elbow Cay, Hope Town, Marsh Harbor. These weren't vacation stops. This was their daily life. Brian had been bragging to people that he hadn't tied up to a dock in years. He knew these waters. And that matters, because later in this story, he's going to tell investigators something about these waters that makes absolutely no sense. The Sea of Abaco is only 3 to 5 feet deep in places. A deep-keeled sailboat anchored there must account for tidal changes or risk running aground overnight. Every experienced live-aboard sailor knows the tidal patterns by heart. It is not optional. It is survival. Remember that. The last day, Saturday, April 4th, the night before Easter, Brian and Lynette spent the afternoon at Tahiti Beach. Popular sandbar, drinks, stingrays, people everywhere. Then they moved to the Abaco Inn, a waterfront bar on the calm western shore of Elbow Cay. At 6:34 p.m., someone took a photo. Brian and Lynette at the pool. Lynette in her green cover-up, arms crossed, wind blowing off the Atlantic over the hill. That photograph is the last confirmed image of Lynette Hooker alive. For minutes later, 6:38 p.m., Lynette's daughter Carly and her partner Stephen reviewed the inn's surveillance footage. They believed they saw Brian and Lynette walking toward the dock together. That's 6:38. Brian told police they left at 7:30. That's a 52-minute gap nobody has explained. But then came the photograph that changed everything. A woman at the Abaco Inn bar that evening took a sunset photo. Time-stamped 7 p.m. A live photo, the kind that captures 2 seconds of movement. She had no idea what she'd captured. Not until she heard about Lynette Hooker. When you zoom in, there's a figure crossing the road toward the dock. When the live photo moves, you can see what he's carrying. It appears to be Brian Hooker. He is alone. He is carrying a banana yellow dry bag. Lynette is not with him. So at 7 p.m., where is Lynette? Brian's story. Brian says they left the dock together at 7:30 p.m. 10 to 15-minute dinghy ride back to Soulmate. Simple trip they'd done dozens of times. Then he says everything fell apart. 2 to 4 foot seas. Screaming wind. Getting dark fast. Lynette bounced off the stern. The engine's kill switch lanyard went with her into the water, cutting the motor dead. He threw her a foam cushion, called out to her, lost sight of her, and then he drifted, for 9 hours, across 4 miles of open water, Arrived at Marsh Harbor boatyards around 4 a.m. Walked through the bush. Called police. Authorities weren't notified until 4 in the morning. Person overboard protocol, taught in every basic boating safety course, is immediate. Maintain visual contact, throw flotation, drop anchor to hold position near the person, fire a distress flare right away. Every second you drift away reduces survival chances dramatically. Brian did not drop anchor near where Lynette went in. Brian did not fire a flare until he was nearly 2,000 yards away. Brian did not put on either of the 2 life jackets in the boat. Brian did not go in after her. He says he couldn't restart the engine because the spare key was in a dry bag. A bag he claims Lynette took into the water with her. So the question is, was any of that true? Because the cameras were rolling. What the cameras show? The Firefly Inn, less than a quarter-mile north of where Brian says they cast off. Surveillance cameras, facing the water, recording all night. At 7:15 p.m. on April 4th, a boat motors out from the dock. No side spray, no whitecaps, no waves, flat, calm, still water. At 7:30 p.m., the cameras catch the flags on the hill above the inn. They are not standing rigid, not snapping in a gale. They flutter, drop, flutter again. That is not screaming wind. That is a light breeze. The inn's owner told investigators directly, the leeward western shore of Elbow Cay is completely shielded from the Atlantic trades. It can be blowing 30 knots on the exposed eastern side while the Sea of Abaco side stays calm enough to snorkel. Brian described a nightmare. The cameras show bathwater. Now add the one thing that cannot be argued. The sun. Sunset at Elbow Cay on April 4th. Approximately 7:30 p.m. But full darkness doesn't arrive until 8 p.m. The 30-minute window between sunset and full darkness is called civil twilight. During this time, enough ambient light remains to see a person in shallow water nearby. This is a fixed, calculable astronomical fact. It cannot be disputed. If Brian left at 7:30, 10 to 15 minutes later puts Lynette in the water at 7:40 to 7:45. At 7:40 it is not dark. Brian said it was too dark to see her. The sun says otherwise. And the sun doesn't lie. If this breakdown is giving you answers, hit like right now. 1 second. It helps hidden crime files keep covering cases like Lynette's that deserve more than a headline. The dry bags. In every video Lynette ever posted, she carries a bright green dry bag. Key West, the Bahamas. Every single time. In the 6:34 p.m. pool photo, there's something lime green on the ground beside her chair. Her bag. At 7 p.m., Brian is walking to the dock with a yellow dry bag. That yellow bag doesn't appear anywhere in the earlier pool photo. Lynette's green bag is nowhere in the 7 p.m. image. Brian's whole explanation for why the engine stayed dead rests on one claim, that the spare key was in a dry bag that Lynette took into the water. But which bag? Where was each bag that evening? What was actually inside them? And here's the question nobody has answered yet. Was Lynette even at that dock at 7 p.m.? The Abaco in surveillance system would answer every single one of those questions. Exact departure time, what they were carrying, whether Lynette walked down to that dinghy at all. That footage exists. The Royal Bahamas Police Force has placed a hold on it. The general manager has been told not to release it. No explanation given. In active criminal investigations, law enforcement can place preservation holds on privately held surveillance footage. This protects evidence integrity before charges are brought. Standard and appropriate procedure. But it also means the most critical visual evidence can remain sealed for months. Nobody outside of law enforcement has seen it. The whole case pivots around footage nobody can watch. The phone calls. After Lynette disappeared, Brian called friends. One of them was Blaine Stevenson, fellow sailor, knew the couple well. Blaine had one question. Where were you coming from and where were you going when this happened? Simple. 2 sentences. Abaco in. Soulmate. Done. Instead, Brian talked for minutes. Great Guana Cay. Scuba tank refills from 2 days earlier. Tahiti Beach. The people they met. A long speech about living an authentic life because it carries real risk. Blaine started recording. He couldn't write fast enough. Then Brian said something that stopped everything. He told Blaine he didn't really understand the currents and tides in that area. He had been living on a keelboat in the Sea of Abaco for 5 weeks. Remember what we said about tides and shallow water? You cannot safely anchor a deep-keeled sailboat in those waters without knowing the tidal cycle. Brian had been doing it every single night. The night before Lynette disappeared, Soulmate was captured on Firefly in surveillance dropping anchor off Elbow Cay. Brian and Lynette slept aboard, pulled up anchor Saturday morning. You don't sleep at anchor in the Sea of Abaco without knowing the tides. He knew. He absolutely knew. In a second recorded call, Blaine asked simply where they were anchored. Brian talked for several more minutes. Tahiti Beach again. The lifestyle, the people who admired them. And then, almost as an aside, said he lost his wife that same night. Then added, probably the gods were listening. That's what he said. Investigators call this oversharing, a documented behavioral pattern where a person fills unanswered questions with unrequested detail. It is used to control the narrative before it is challenged. It does not prove guilt, but it is a signal trained investigators watch for closely across suspect interviews. It showed up consistently, across multiple calls, with multiple people. It is one of the documented reasons Brian Hooker was eventually arrested. The arrest, April 8th. For days after Lynette vanished, Brian Hooker was arrested by the Royal Bahamas Police Force, transported to Nassau, then to the Grand Bahama Police Station in Freeport, questioned first as a witness, then reclassified as a suspect. Under Bahamian law, police can hold a suspect for 48 hours without charges. A magistrate can extend that by an additional 96 hours during active investigation, which is exactly what happened here. Investigators went deep. The night of April 4th. His marriage. The abuse allegations Carly had raised. April 13th released. No charges filed. The Department of Public Prosecutions recommended no charges at that time, pending further investigation. Police Commissioner Shanta Knowles confirmed publicly Brian remained a suspect. The U.S. Coast Guard opened a separate criminal investigation. The day after his release, Brian told the media he was staying in the Bahamas. His sole focus was finding Lynette. Within 24 hours, he was on a commercial flight out of the country. His attorney cited his mother's grave illness. His destination was not disclosed. He left Soulmate anchored at Marsh Harbor. Their home, empty, abandoned. Carly told reporters publicly she believed it was an excuse to leave. One day he's staying no matter what. The next day he's gone. Why? The family. Carly Aylesworth is 28. She is Lynette's daughter. She told CNN her mother previously confided that Brian had choked her. She told investigators that in 2024, during a fight on the boat, Brian threatened to throw Lynette overboard. Brian has denied everything. There is also a 2015 Michigan police report. Lynette told officers Brian struck her. Both accused each other. Prosecutor found insufficient evidence. Case dismissed. No charges. Lynette's mother Darlene Hamlet told ABC News the couple had a volatile relationship. In missing persons cases involving intimate partners, relationship history is standard investigative territory. Investigators look for documented patterns of behavior, prior incidents, threats, physical altercations, to establish context for motive. This is not assumption. It is procedure. These are allegations. No domestic charges have been filed in connection with this disappearance. Carly gave a 2-hour interview to Coast Guard investigators. Hired an attorney. Has been consistent from day one. She does not believe this was an accident. Darlene Hamlet was racing to get an emergency passport just to get to the Bahamas. Just to feel close to her daughter. Both of them want one thing. The truth about what happened on that water. What remains? Here is where we stand. Last confirmed image of Lynette Hooker, 6:34 p.m. Pool behind the Abaco Inn. 7 p.m. A figure matching Brian Hooker photographed walking to the dock. Alone. Yellow dry bag. No Lynette. 7:15 p.m. Nearby surveillance shows flat calm water. No waves. No whitecaps. 7:30 p.m. Flags on the hill barely moving. Not the screaming wind Brian described. Sun doesn't produce full darkness until 8 p.m. Brian's timeline says Lynette went in at 7:40 to 7:45. It was not dark enough to lose sight of someone that close to shore. 2 life jackets recovered from the dinghy. Unused. Brian arrested. Held 5 days. Released without charges. Left the Bahamas. The Abaco in surveillance locked. Sealed. Unseen. Lynette Hooker has not been found. If you were near the Abaco Inn or the Sea of Abaco on the evening of April 4th, the U.S. Coast Guard Investigative Service needs your photos, your videos, anything at all. Submit anonymously at cgistips.com. Lynette called the ocean her happy place. She deserves to be found. Loudspeaker CTA 3, end on this. If this story moved you, subscribe to Hidden Crime Files right now. We are not walking away from Lynette's case. Every update, every new piece of evidence, every development, we will be here for Lynette and for every family still waiting for the truth.